My name is Catherine Duggan. I'm an assistant professor at Harvard Business School. And I became a part of ALN, or at least I came to speak, because Fred Swaniker showed up in one of my classes at HBS and came up to me afterwards and said, we're looking for some really dynamic people who have a lot of things to say about the future of Africa. And we're particularly looking for people who like presenting in front of large audiences. And so he asked me to do this, and I jumped at the opportunity. I think it's a fantastic program. I think it's a fantastic organization, and I couldn't have asked for a better conference location. I really enjoyed Addis. So.
Second question is the conference. How do you think it went? What do you think people got out of it? Did you get anything new out of it in general?
So I think the conference was fantastic. I really learned a lot. It's really both interesting and inspiring to hear about all the stories that are going on the continent. And I think that this was said several times in the conference, but I think that we don't have enough positive stories about leadership in Africa, which is a shame because we know that it's occurring. We know that there's tremendous leadership. We know that there's some very exciting things happening on the continent, and we just don't have enough stories about what's actually going on the ground. So it was really amazing to bring all of these people together and to hear about all of the ways in which people are working. They're taking on new projects, they're working together, and they're really not just setting a path as African leaders, but setting a path as the new generation of leaders in the world. So I think it's fantastic.
And along those lines, the future of ALN, what do you envision the future of ALN to be in Africa along with ALN?
So I think the future of Africa is incredibly I think the future of Africa is going to be amazing. I think I'm super optimistic about it, and it is one of these places that has an incredible vibrancy by itself, and you can just imagine what happens if you can take all of that vibrancy and channel it in a particular direction. And I think that ALN is the thing that could help do that. So we have all of these leaders, we have all of these people who are doing things on their own. And I think the one thing that's missing is the opportunity and really an organization that can bring all of those people who are doing amazing things on their own together so that they can really affect change all together as a unit. And I think that ALN has not just the possibility of doing that, but almost the responsibility to do that. I think that the people who are here really reflect the future of the continent, and I think that I'm glad that they've come. I'm glad that everybody here accepted that mantle of responsibility, and I very much hope that it continues that way in the future. And I look forward to seeing everybody here in future business deals, in all sorts of mechanisms to grow the continent and to share ideas. I think it's one of the most valuable things that we could possibly be doing to really build a prosperous future for Africa and for the world in general. I mean, I think that the one thing that we have spent less time talking about this ALN is how Africa can not just help the continent itself, how Africa and Africans can not just help the continent itself, but can really be leaders to drive the world into the future. And I think that's totally possible. In fact, that is where I would put my money. So.